Okay, so this tutorial is set up for those of you who are working in MLA format for your research paper. And if you have looked at the other tutorials, you'll know that APA tends to be a lot more complicated than MLA, so that's good news for you. What you have here on the screen is this is actually just an extraction from a former tech writer, technical report writing student's paper, so the contents look very different from what you guys are working on. But what I wanted you to do here today is see how the layout and format of the paper is affected based on your documentation style in MLA. So the first thing that you want to be cautious about is that Word automatically defaults to a different font than you want to use. So we want to go in and we're going to use Times New Roman and 12. You could also use Arial if you wanted to. So what you've done here is set up the paper, make sure that the fonts and all are correct, and you want to indent your first line of your paragraphs, and that's just a simple tab over. If you've looked at the hanging indent tutorial, you know how valuable this ruler tool can be. So I have it set, it goes to a 1/2 inch. Now the other thing that you have to be very concerned about is that Word, even when you use these tools here to set up the spacing in the paper, it doesn't always default the correct way or choose the right way for double spacing. So you want to go to select all and then choose your paragraph, and we're going to be choosing double spacing. And the thing that you absolutely want to be concerned about is the before and after, and you want to make sure that they are both set to 0. That way your spacing doesn't get off within the body of the paper, and that typically affects like line spacing between paragraphs. So we hit OK, and now our paper is set up in terms of format the way it should be. Without checking that 0 before and after, a lot of times even when you set it to do double spacing, Word will put extra lines like right here between these two lines in your paragraphs, and you don't want that. The good news is that we can simply go right to the top of our paper, bring this over because we want to start flush left, and the way that you set up your header is your name, which I'm putting my name there, and then double spaced down one, and your professor's name, which in this case is me, so I'll have Woodland again, and then you put the course, which is ENG, or you could 124, or you could simply go Comp 1, and then the date. And so it comes in a certain format. It's the day of the month first, and then the month, and you can spell it out or you can use the abbreviation, no period, and then the year. So it looks like that. Then you space down once and you center and you put your title. So online relationships and dating in technology driven America, just to kind of keep in line. So what I want to do, notice that there are no extra spaces between the date and the title, but here, because of the way I have it set up, there's an extra space. So I want to find it, use your spacing tool there. I'm going to delete out that extra. You don't center this in the middle of the page. There's no cover page in MLA. There's nothing like that. And I want to make sure that this is flush with my 1-inch margins. The other thing that you always want to ensure is you go to your page layout. Make sure that your margins are always set to 1 inch all the way around. Don't trust the default, because oftentimes the default will take it and make it to 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 on your left and right margins, and we don't want that. We want 1 inch all the way around. So that is literally what the first page should look like, except it's missing one thing. And if you watched the hanging indents in header tutorial, you'll know to go here to your insert tab, and instead of choosing header, I would tell you that the easiest thing to do is go to page number, top of page, and MLA says that your page number should be flush right. So there it is, and there it automatically generates your page number, but MLA says you should have your last name and space and then your page number. It also does not default to the font and size that you use in the body of the paper, so highlight it, go to home, make sure that you choose to match if it's Arial or Times. Here I'm using Times 12. Again, there's a space between the page number and your last name. See how this is all green and the body is grayed out while you're working in the header box. And then you simply go to Design and you close it. And now Word will automatically put your last name and the page number in sequential order. exactly as MLA asks for on every subsequent page of your paper. And this is exactly how the paper should be set up. Again, be sure that you are careful to look for the spacing between sentences, that you don't have, I see students who do this, and then they have this, or rather it's here. You don't want that. None of that should be there. And you want to also double check that you have consistent font and size throughout the document. In MLA format, again, 12 Arial or Times New Roman, those are the two that you kind of default to, and not Arial narrow, but just regular Arial. And you want to stay consistent throughout the entire document. That includes the headers. That is exactly how you set it up. Remember that you want to give us some type of engaging title that contextualizes what's going to be coming in the body of the paper afterwards. Research paper or title don't really work. You want something a little more creative. And that is how you set up and start the paper in MLA format. Just like this, how your headers should look. This is only on the front page, the top page of the document. And notice you just keep rolling right into the body. It's not the title and your name, and this information here is not repeated. I hope that this helps. If you guys have questions, let me know.